Kristallnacht was a night of broken glass. This was the day Nazis said Jews were bad. In the night, Jewish synagogues, shops, stores, and houses were griefed.
Kristallnacht was the burning and raiding of Jewish businesses and synagogues in Germany, November 1938.
Kristallnacht is when the Nazis destroyed lots of Jewish synagogues. 30,000 were arrested, 96 were killed, 75,000 businesses were destroyed. It was also known as the Night of Broken Glass, and many people thought of it as the turning point to the war. This led to the Jewish getting put in ghettos and concentration camps.
Kristallnacht was the Night of Broken Glass, and it was basically like people were allowed to just destroy Jewish shops and homes and set things on fire without being stopped.
Kristallnacht was about people destroying glass, killing Jews, and allowing the fires to continue burning on.
Kristallnacht was in 1938 in Germany, and that's where the Nazis banged and kind of raided Jewish homes. And the meaning Kristallnacht means breaking of the glass, which is what the Nazis did. They went to different store by store, building by building, whatever it was that was ran by a Jewish owner.
In 1933, Hitler came into power in Germany. He was the leader of the Nazis. Hitler and the Nazis took Jews and put them in concentration camps, killed them, and used them as slaves.
Occurring 83 years ago, on November 9, 1938, Kristallnacht was a violent state-sanctioned pogrom against Jewish communities across Germany and the Greater Reich. During Kristallnacht, also known as the Night of Broken Glass, members of the SA, SS, and Hitler Youth killed over 100 Jews, destroyed 267 synagogues, vandalized or looted over 7,000 Jewish businesses, desecrated Jewish cemetery, schools, and hospitals, and rounded up 30,000 Jewish men and sent them to concentration camps. What should have been a warning sign to the world to act, to welcome newcomers fleeing persecution, to take a stand against anti-Semitism and hate, instead became the first massive act of violence against Jews within Nazi Germany, and today is viewed by historians as the crucial turning point in what later became the Holocaust. Our world missed all the warning signs, and they were there. Here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, our Jewish community chooses to commemorate every year Kristallnacht so that history does not repeat itself. This year, in light of the anti-Semitism and hate we all know is still existing in today's world, we chose to focus on the vibrant voices of local students and the interfaith allies as we remember what happened and inspire the present and future generations to take a stand against hate. Students featured in today's program learned about Kristallnacht from HERC's Holocaust Education map and in conjunction with staff from HERC and the Coalition for Jewish Learning. You'll hear from these remarkable young people again after this short video from our partners at the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum in DC, which helps answer the question we started with. What was Kristallnacht? Thank you so much.
On November 9th and 10th, the Nazi Party unleashed a wave of anti-Jewish violence throughout Greater Germany.
Kristallnacht, the Night of the Broken Glass, represents the first national organized physical attack on the Jews. It was a very public event. Germans saw it happening, and many participated in it.
I saw the smoke and the fire of the synagogue burning, and both of us, my sister and I, started screaming from fear.
Mid-morning came a horde of people to the door, just smashed the door down, came in with scissors and all kinds of instruments and just demolished the whole apartment.
It was so dreadful when my mother went into the house that she, at that point, internalized what was going to happen to us and to all the other Jews.
To me, this was the true beginning of the Holocaust.
German police rounded up about 30,000 Jewish men and held them in concentration camps. In the weeks that followed, German authorities closed Jewish communal organizations and schools and forced Jews to sell their businesses, property, and stocks to non-Jews, usually at a great loss.
I mean, no more business, no more income, nothing. The business was closed. They just put things in front of it, plywood or whatever it was, and nailed it down. So nobody could come in anymore.
In spite of the escalating violence, very few nations, individuals, or groups chose to help. Those who did made a difference. A small group of British and German Jews persuaded the British government to allow unaccompanied Jewish children to enter the United Kingdom under a program known as the Kindertransport.
It's a poignant success story because these are children who were, their families put them on these trains to get out of harm's way, knowing full well that they might never see their children again, and in many cases didn't see their children. But the children survived. These were 10,000 lives that were rescued.
As 1938 ended, Nazi Germany's intentions were increasingly clear. In the coming year, Germany would occupy the Czech lands and invade Poland, igniting World War II. Efforts to rescue Jews, such as the Kindertransport, were effectively shut down. Looking back at the events of 1938, the signs of impending war and the Holocaust are clearer today than they were then. Unfortunately, acts of genocide have continued into the 21st century. But there's hope that the world has begun to heed the warning signs.
We've learned enough, we've seen enough, we've studied enough, the case of the Holocaust and the cases since the Holocaust, to understand what those signs are.
The choice is not just between sending in the 101st Airborne and doing nothing. There's diplomatic efforts, there's intelligence, there's financial sanctions. There's a range of different things that governments can do to prevent genocide.
The thing that we need to be conscious of is how quickly these events can develop into an act that cannot be undone. And so why not take preventative steps early on so that we're not dealing with the effects of true mass violence and genocide?
The people that were involved in Kristallnacht were the Nazi government, all the people of Nazi Germany, and all the people that were in police departments, fire departments, and everything that would have stopped this from happening.
It's important for interfaith allies to stand up for each other. We are all one community. We must not stand by idly and witness attacks on our brothers and sisters of a different faith or religion, culture, nationality, ethnicity, language, or gender. Silence is complicity. Please join us as we hear the words of interfaith leaders across Milwaukee as they pledge to remember the history of Kristallnacht, and they pledge to support each other.
On this anniversary of Kristallnacht, as leaders of Milwaukee interfaith community,
we want to remember those whose lives were shattered.
We pledge to take a different course
and acknowledge the trauma
caused by those who stood around and did nothing.
To remember this history, to mend the fragments created by division,
to piece together what's been broken,
and to promise action, not inaction.
To make ourselves whole again, one community,
committed to each other and our faiths. ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ.
Most people respond to hateful speeches or actions on social media and elsewhere by saying hateful things back, but I believe we should say our opinions in a respectful way that doesn't hurt others.
Spreading awareness is helpful so people are aware of these bad things that are being said, and just to try to stay positive through it all.
So if you were to say something hateful on the internet, I feel like you should definitely be an upstander in this situation.
If you ever see hateful comments or just anything mean or racist on the internet, what you should do is you should mostly comment on it, saying how it's wrong, or you can try educating other people, showing them it's wrong, or what you could do is you could try reporting them or something.
I think that nowadays how we should respond to hate over the internet or social media is to think to ourselves, if the person that is sending you hate did not have enough bravery or courage to say it to your face or in a type of way, it is not something you should get mad about because they weren't brave enough to say it to you, so why should you get mad about it?
A way we can stop hate is by educating people, because a lot of times when people are spreading hate, they're just uneducated and they have false information about a group of people or a person, and that can lead to them not disliking them and spreading that hate.
Nowadays, there's social media and everyone has a voice and is able to use that voice. If something like Kristallnacht or the Holocaust were to happen again, we would be able to come together as a Jewish community or even just a community as a whole and stop everyone from doing that.
So we can use our voices to come together and stop bad things from happening. So if something like that used to happen, like Kristallnacht or the Holocaust or something like that, if that were to happen again, we have a voice because we have social media. We can come together as a community to spread a message.
A way to stop hate is by standing up for yourself, because if somebody's targeting you or someone you know, the only way that they're ever going to stop targeting you is by you taking a stand